When I bought the 40-acre spread on the edge of Pine Ridge, I wasn't looking for trouble. I was looking for peace. After 20 years working construction across 3 states, I wanted nothing more than a quiet patch of forest and a small cabin to call home. The land came with a rundown barn, a pond, and a long gravel road that curved away from the highway like it wanted to keep secrets. But trouble, it seems, doesn't always come roaring. It builds itself slowly, with glossy brochures and fake smiles. It started when the trucks came. At first, I thought it was a county project, road repair or maybe utilities. But then I saw the sign, "Welcome to Silver Pines Villas, a premium WA community." That was strange because my land wasn't for sale. I hadn't signed a single paper. The deed was locked in my gun safe, along with the survey map and the title insurance. Yet, within a week, there were concrete mixers and lumber deliveries. A dozen identical foundations were being poured less than 500 feet from my barn. I tried to stay calm. After all, maybe they'd made a mapping error. So, I called the number on the billboard. A chirpy voice answered, "Silver Pines Sales Office, this is Beverly, how can I help you?" "Yes, ma'am," I said slowly. "You've got crews building on my property. I think there's been a mistake." There was a short pause, then a dismissive laugh. "Oh, sir, I think you're mistaken. Silver Pines is developing Lot 47 through Lot 60, our property." "Lot 47 through 60, I repeated. "And what's the boundary line on your map?" "I'm not sure, but it's all been approved by the WA and the county, sir," she said in that clipped tone people use when they think you're beneath them. "If you believe there's an issue, you'll have to take it up with our developer." Click. That was my first introduction to the HOA's arrogance. Over the next few days, I visited the site in person. A slick guy in a hard hat waved me off like I was a stray dog. "Private property, old-timer," he barked. "Can't have you wandering into an active construction zone." "Active construction zone," I shot back. "Buddy, this is my property." He didn't even look up. "Then sue us." So, I did something most people wouldn't. I let them build. I took photos. I marked boundaries. I hired a drone operator to record daily footage. And I met with my attorney, Clara Johnson, a sharp woman with 30 years of land law under her belt. When she saw my documents, she whistled. "They're in deep," she said. "Your deed predates any zoning they're claiming." "How deep are we talking?" She smiled. 12 villas deep, if you let me handle it right." That's when the plan began. For 6 months, I watched them transform my peaceful woods into a picture-perfect WA community, fences, fountains, decorative lighting, and freshly paved roads. They had no idea the very ground beneath those villas wasn't legally theirs. By the time the model homes opened for sale, families were touring them, sipping lemonade while realtors boasted about exclusive access to nature. Every time I drove past the gate, a shiny security guard waved me off like I didn't belong. That irony kept me warm at night. Then, one afternoon, as I was inspecting the pond near my fence line, a group of WA board members pulled up in a golf cart. The president, a woman named Karen Douglas, stepped out wearing oversized sunglasses and a clipboard. Her tone was syrupy but sharp. "Sir, we've had reports of a man trespassing near our community," she began. "I'm assuming that's you." I leaned on my shovel. "You're assuming wrong. This is my land." She smirked. "Your land? I don't think so, Mr. Coleman," I said. "Ethan Coleman." "Well, Mr. Coleman, Silver Pines holds all rights to this development. So, unless you'd like a trespass charge, I'd suggest staying off our property." Her confidence was so absolute that for a moment, I almost laughed. "Ma'am," I said evenly, "you might want to check with your developer before making threats." "Oh, we're quite confident," she said. "In fact, we're planning to expand the walking trail right through that pond area next month. It'll really raise property values." I just smiled. "Good luck with that." She walked away thinking she'd won. But I knew something she didn't. Every nail, every fence post, every villa they built was technically mine, because they were all built on my land. By the end of the year, Silver Pines had completed 12 luxury villas, valued at nearly $6 million total. They even hosted a ribbon-cutting ceremony with champagne and local news coverage. Karen and the developer posed for photos in front of the entrance gate. I was there too, quietly standing across the road, camera in hand. That night, I sent every file, every photo, and every timestamped drone video to Clara. She called me the next morning, voice full of amusement. "Ethan, they're done. It's time." "Court?" I asked. "Court," she confirmed. "Bring your deed." I couldn't help but grin. For months, I'd been treated like an intruder on my own soil. Now, the tables were about to turn, and I wasn't just reclaiming my land. I was reclaiming my dignity. Next stop, County Court. County Courthouse in Pine Ridge wasn't much to look at, just an aging brick building with flickering lights and coffee-stained carpets, but that morning, it felt like the stage for something much bigger. I walked in with my lawyer, Clara Johnson, holding the original deed to my land in a weathered folder. She had warned me, "Ethan, don't expect them to roll over. While lawyers are like pit bulls, they bark loud until the judge shows them a muzzle." Sure enough, when we entered the courtroom, the Silver Pines team was already there. 3 suits, 1 smirking developer, and, of course, Karen Douglas, HOA president, wearing her pearls and arrogance like armor. She didn't even glance my way. When the judge entered, everyone stood. I could feel the tension crawling up my spine. Months of frustration, insult, and disbelief, all leading up to this moment. The case title echoed through the room. Coleman vs. Silver Pines Homeowners Association. It sounded like David versus Goliath, and that was fine by me. The HOA's attorney, a slick man named Mr. Palmer, started with his argument. "Your Honor," he said smoothly, "this is a simple misunderstanding. The HOA purchased this land from the developer, Greenstone Properties, who had the legal zoning and boundary rights confirmed by the county." He glanced at me like I was a minor inconvenience. Mr. Coleman's claim appears to stem from a misinterpretation of outdated maps. Clara didn't even blink. "Your Honor, if I may." Judge Harris nodded. She approached the bench, unfolding a series of survey documents. "This is the deed for parcel 23B, registered under my client's name, Ethan J. Coleman, purchased 8 years ago, well before Silver Pines was conceived. And here," she tapped another page, "are the recorded GPS coordinates of his property line." The judge peered at the documents. "And the development, built directly on parcel 23B, Clara said. All 12 villas, including the community pool." A ripple of surprise moved through the courtroom. Karen shifted uncomfortably in her seat. Palmer tried to recover, flipping through his binder. "Your Honor, even if that were the case, the HOA purchased the land in good faith." Clara cut him off. "Good faith requires due diligence, counselor. Your clients built 12 luxury homes without verifying ownership. That's not faith, it's fraud." The judge's brow furrowed. "Do you have evidence of ownership during construction?" "Oh, I do," she said, smiling. She motioned for the clerk to play the drone footage. On the courtroom screen, video clips rolled. Trucks pouring concrete on my property. Workers setting up fences and roads. Karen herself walking the site during inspection week. Every clip was time-stamped, GPS tagged, and matched to the property coordinates. By the time it ended, the judge looked exhausted. "Mr. Palmer," he said, "I hope you have something solid to counter this, because from where I'm sitting, your clients built an entire community on someone else's land." Palmer stammered, We acted under developer authorization. We can't be held fully accountable." Clara pounced. "Actually, Your Honor, under Section 14 of the State Land Act, any entity that improves, constructs, or sells property on unlawfully held land is liable for restitution, or forfeiture of assets, to the rightful owner." The silence that followed was heavy enough to crush marble. Karen finally spoke, voice sharp. "This is ridiculous. We spent millions. The county approved our permits." The judge turned his gaze on her. "Ma'am, the county's approval is void if based on fraudulent filings. Do you have any proof the land belonged to your developer?" Karen's face paled. Her lawyer whispered something frantic, but it was too late. Clara slid another paper across the table. "Here's the county surveyor's statement confirming that Greenstone Properties never owned parcel 23B. They altered boundary filings using digital overlays. The original was never updated because, well, Mr. Coleman never sold." The courtroom broke into murmurs. The judge banged his gavel. "Order." Then he turned toward me. "Mr. Coleman, your patience is admirable. Most people would have stopped construction months ago." I smiled faintly. "I wanted them to finish, Your Honor. Makes ownership easier when everything's already built." Even the judge chuckled. "Fair point." Then his expression hardened. "In that case, the court rules in favor of the plaintiff, Mr. Ethan Coleman. Full title rights to the developed land are confirmed. The HOA and developer are ordered to vacate and cease operations immediately." Karen gasped. Palmer's jaw dropped. Clara looked like she'd just won the Super Bowl. But the judge wasn't done. "Furthermore," he said, since the defendant's development was unauthorized, all structures on said land legally transfer to Mr. Coleman. Any further appeal will require escrowed damages equal to the appraised value, $6.3 million. There it was. $6 million worth of villas, fountains, and manicured lawns, mine. Outside the courthouse, reporters were already waiting. News spread faster than wildfire in small towns. A journalist asked, Mr. Coleman, what are your plans for the Silver Pines villas now that you own them? I grinned. Rename it. Maybe. Coleman Ridge. No nonsense. Karen stormed past with her sunglasses hiding the fury on her face. The developer trailed behind, phone glued to his ear, probably trying to figure out how to explain losing 12 houses to a man with a shovel. Over the next few weeks, the HOA tried to negotiate. They offered to buy the land from me for half its value. I refused. Then they begged to lease it. I refused that too. Eventually, I sold 4 of the villas privately, no HOA fees, no board meetings, just clean ownership. I kept the rest as rentals and built a new cabin overlooking the fountain they'd installed. Fitting, really, the same water feature they built to impress buyers now reflected the porch light of the man they'd tried to bully. One evening, as I sat on my deck watching the sunset spill gold over the rooftops, Clara stopped by with a bottle of whiskey. You could have settled early, you know, she said. You could have stopped them before they poured a single foundation. I could have, I agreed, taking a sip. But if I had, they'd have said I was bitter, angry, small. Now everyone knows who really owned this land, and who didn't. She laughed softly. Revenge with a deed. Classy move. I looked out over the villas, their driveways empty, their windows reflecting the twilight. Sometimes, I said, the best way to teach people respect is to let them finish digging their own hole. And that's exactly what the HOA of Silver Pines did, one villa at a time.